catch him from the top. Oh no, no, he won't stop. Thalmor Radio, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Thalmor Radio.
Thalmor Radio.
It's 10:16 p.m. on October 1st, 2021. Do you know where your anyways, let's talk about what I've been doing and what people in the game have been doing and what people in real life are doing, because that's what we do here on Thalmor Radio. We talk about people, and we're going to talk about how great I am at bowling, because I fucking killed my friends, but I also killed them at bowling. So my friends came over the week. So when my friends come over, we usually either play D&D or we play like multiplayer games, right? And so we've been spicing it up lately, though, and that we've been going bowling. And I tell you what, I do pretty good. I didn't do too good the first time, but the last time we went, we played for 2 hours, and I beat my friends basically every game. There was one game that I didn't win, and that was only because the fucking shit from the 70s all messed up, and it didn't like register my one strike. So because of that, I didn't win that game. You should totally blender the Pokemon. That's fine. But anyways, I did pretty good at bowling, and I like bowling. And I don't know why I like bowling. Well, I bowled a decent amount as a kid, and I think that contributed to it. But what I like about bowling is how it's a little random, right? Because especially if you're not a pro and you haven't took lessons, like when you go to roll the fucking ball, like it could immediately be a gutter ball or it could be a perfect strike, you know? So it's a little random, and you know, you might hit certain pins a certain way, and like again, you might either get a strike or you might, or like one might be left standing, or you might get half of them or stuff. So it's a little random, but like there's also some technique involved, and I don't know, I just really like it. And I used a small ball. I think it was a 10-pound ball, and it was pink, and I have a small hand for a guy. So like the holes, like all the holes fit perfectly. So I was able to roll the ball, and I did really well with that ball. And I think a lot of my success is because of that ball. So I did pretty good with it. It was a light ball, but I could aim it well, and I could. The most important thing was I could use it comfortably. So that was cool. My highest score across all 4 games was 110. So that was cool. What are you guys freaking out about in the chat? Hey, did you know that in terms of male and female Pokemon breeding? I've seen this copy pasta. Okay, but anyways, that's enough of that. Let's not talk about Pokemon breeding. That is pretty crazy, and unfortunately, some people are really into that. Also, Soup, you are recording, right? I'm pretty sure he is. Zig could not make it today. He is being chased by a skinwalker in the Smoky Mountains. He may not survive, but that's okay, because I'm still here until the 5G melts my brain, and then once that happens, I guess maybe like Shifty and Soup and Kills will run the show between the 3 of them. I don't know, but that is also okay, because I'll be dead and it won't matter. But yeah, I'm pretty decent at bowling. What I also like to do is that when I launch the ball, I do it low to the ground. I think that helps because Yeah, I would do it low to the ground, and I think that helped like be accurate and also maintain speed and stuff. Yeah, exactly. I would slide it, and I think my friends would often like they wouldn't quite slide it. They would more. I mean, it was underhanded, but they would more like throw it, and I think that fucked them over. Like my one friend was getting gutter balls like a quarter of the way through the track, just immediately throw the fucking throw. But I digress. Slinging is better. Yeah. Yeah, we played a normal game with the gutters, not with the little barriers up, the little kitty barriers, which are really fun. But anyways, um a player has returned to the game named Buorkhan. And Buorkhan was pretty prominent in 2018. He was the leader of the Golden Horde. And the Golden Horde was probably one of KT's closest allies. And so lots of memes spawned because of Buorkhan. One of the most biggest lasting elements of his legacy is that if you get a lot of upvotes on the forum, your little forum reputation pip becomes a hippo with the words God of Upvotes on it. And that's a reference to Buorkhan, which is kind of cringe because, like, I think the nods to specific players is kind of weird. Like the Fraggle one is weird. There's one for Caster. I think that's kind of weird, but whatever. Whatever. And so, yeah, that's kind of about it. And it was funny because he's already getting to slap fights with Syndicate people on Ron. Like that's been really funny to watch. I don't know. I don't even know what they're arguing about, but whatever.
So basically it's the same thing that most former Syndicate allies usually get mad at that Syndicate for, is that I mean, I was never friends with Manthrax, but apparently one of the big things that a lot of former Syndicate people complain is that Syndicate plays it too safe. I remember last time Buorkhan left and had his retirement party or whatever, he was like complaining that they played too safe, and that's why he decided to go with a Golden Horde as opposed to siding with Partisan. And then I guess the other thing that came up from him and the Golden Horde was cultural victory. We don't really use it that often anymore, but it's still there.
Yeah, and that's which I haven't seen that meme recently either, but that in 2018 that was the meme, the cultural victory one. And yeah, so Buorkhan's applied to Guardian, and I'm happy to see him back in the game. I hope he has a good time. And that 20 cities, fuck me. Oh, he's a small boy. But anyways, let's talk about murder. So, one of the worst alliances this game has ever seen. Goons. Goons comes from a form called Something Awful, and it's in announcements if you want to look at it. But a member of Something Awful shot an anti-vaxxer in real life and has been arrested for it. So I thought that was pretty interesting, especially because the Something Awful community is pretty wild. I mean, you can just their behavior when they were in the community here is pretty indicative of that. From the Mercy Board stuff to how they openly talked about wanting to ruin the game, to how they sided with New Pacific Order. Just fucking crazy people, man. And I think the Something Awful moderation has been trying to like scrub the site clean of his stuff. But that's what is going on with that. I believe he was a member of Antifa, yes. So Avatar asked, was it a PNW player? There is no evidence of that. And see, the thing is that Something Awful has a lot of people. Something Awful has like thousands of active posters. Maybe it's in the 5-figure range, but something awful is really big. And how many members did Goons have in Politics and War? Like 150, maybe 200? Like it was a fraction. So the odds of the shooter being a former PNW like Goons member, pretty low. Pretty low. I'm willing to very confidently say that the guys never touched this game. And so yeah, that's what's going on with that. Pretty crazy. And the only reason why I'm talking about it is because Goons is crazy, and it's really bad optics for Goons people, and I think dunking on Goons is based. So that's what's going on with that. Actually, you know what? While I'm on this topic, oops, I didn't want to do that. Stupid fucking Discord. So, I was messaged by a guy called Arch Instinct, and he was asking me about Goons. I don't know why. I think he's trying to like write a report on it or something. I don't know. But the thing is that he told me about what MPO is up to these days. And according, like, he shared with me this screenshot, and I'm guessing he's okay with me sharing it. And yes, the footage of the shooting is an announcement. It is it is safe for work. You don't see, like, you see the guy take the shot, but like you don't see what he's shooting at. So I posted a screenshot in chat, and we see a guy named Zort talk about how Politics and War is like literally full of Nazis, which I thought was interesting. But I guess that's the current MPO cope, is that Politics and War is full of Nazis. So that is pretty cool, I guess. Fuck. It's so like David actually was DMing me recently, and he had said on the forums about how like it seemed like the Camelot members follow whatever like the government says. And David showed me some screenshots in which like some Camelot members really were acting like IQ members, and it's still creepy to see. It's so creepy to see. While we're on the topic of Camelot too, by the way, I want to talk about Epi real quick. So I criticized Epi some last week on the show about some weirdness. He actually DM'd me that night, and we had it back and forth, and he explained to me like his side of things, and he clarified them for me. So I have reset my opinion. I am now neutral towards Epi again. So that is that, and hopefully he'll come back on my show sometime. So that was that. So that's kind of it for news. It's been a slow week, but what I can talk about, or not what I can talk about, what I want to talk about now is every once in a while on the show, I will talk in depth about a particular topic related to the game. And because this is a slow news week, this is a good opportunity for me to do that. And so what I want to talk about is how the floor of quality for alliances has been slowly creeping up since the beginning of the game, actually. And so I started playing in January of 2015. Pretty early. The current version of the game started, the current instance of the game started, August 5th, 2014? And then a year before that, you had like the beta and stuff. So I joined pretty close to the beginning. And what I've noticed is that things are very common today that were not common at all back then. And so, when I was a member of Terminus S, I left it to create KT, and I had to spend the credit to create KT because back then there was a period of time that was like maybe so many months in which you had to spend a credit to create an alliance. That might sound crazy to you today, but the reason why this was done and was like capable of being done was because not many alliances practice having an offshore, even in early 2017. In early 2017, if your alliance got into a war, your shit was getting raided every time you got maged. Now, of course, back then wars were shorter, right? It's because of offshores that like alliances can have the resources to keep a war going. But that wasn't always the case. And even in 2016, when I was in Terminus S, running a strat of having 100% planes, that wasn't really like common either. Like it was normal for alliances in peace mode to have just zero military across the board. Actually, funny story. I think maybe this was in 2015, but I remember Imperial, the leader of VE, Viridian Entente, which would later become Guardians of the Galaxy. He attacked a syndicate member, and the syndicate member had no military, whereas Imperial had a lot of military. And Imperial got an utter failure because he attacked with 50 soldiers, and that was really funny. But anyways, it's just been interesting to see how, and like bots also weren't common. Like back in 2015, 2016, like if you were a Gov member, you were filling Excel spreadsheets by hand, or you had a staff help you. Like that's how it ran. And so it's been very fascinating seeing how we are in 2021, how, basically every alliance now has like 100% air. Many have some tanks because recently the meta changed and now tanks are a lot more valuable and cheaper and just better overall. So now you have some tanks. Some people will have some ships to counter the one shipping tactic. Everyone and their mom uses an offshore. And, lots of alliances have like some kind of bot. Maybe they have a recruitment bot. Maybe they use Borg's bot with something. Just interesting how that's being seen. And it's interesting because like that kind of that mirrors real life too. Because like in the ancient era, if one side had copper weapons and armor and the other side had iron weapons and armor, that second side would have won. And then when everyone was using iron, if you had steel, you could have won. And then, like, same thing with gunpowder, right? Like, fucking a master swordsman kicks ass, but some dumb fuck with a musket could drop his ass in an instant. So getting gunpowder was important. So then you had a rush for gunpowder. And in the modern era now, well, in the 20th century, it was nuclear weapons. And even, like some countries still want nukes. And I don't know what the big race today. The big race today seems to be like space and IT stuff, but I digress. Yeah, Jane, you have missed a decent amount, but the show still has stuff to go. So I don't know, just interesting seeing the power creep over time and how alliances have gradually been getting like better. Like alliances still aren't good. Most alliances are still okay at best, but the floor has increased. I think that is about it for that. Politics and war, final call. Anything you guys want me to talk about? Anything at all? You bought the trade center. Good job, Kills. I don't know anything about the next global. It could be. I think it's up in the air. I don't think anything's set in stone. I think the situation is fluid. I would hope that Cindy Sphere and Rose does not team up against Hollywood again, because that would be hella gay, and I would start chilling for Hollywood if that happened. Like, I would let Benfro make me his bitch. That's how that would go. What do you think is going to be the next big thing in the game? I don't know. Maybe Alex would drop some kind of. I don't see much changing with politics. I think you got the three sides. You got Oasis and Mystery mucking around. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot of change happening. I think things are pretty set in stone the way they are. Maybe the next big thing will be some kind of game update, because Alex has lots of ideas. I think it'd be interesting to see these ideas be executed. But I don't see much change happening anytime soon. Yes, the game has been dying because of API shit. Hopefully that won't keep happening, I guess. You want to see what Hand of Fate does? Me too. What about mechanics and new updates? I hope that happens. That's all I really got to say. I would like to see Rose versus Cindy Sphere. That's like a fun fight. I think Cindy Sphere would win though, and like probably win pretty readily. Shit won't be added anytime soon. Yeah, I'm afraid of that. Like, I want Alex to drop some new updates, but I want them to happen like sooner rather than later. So, Thalmor's a syndicate shill. Oh, you got me. You got little old me. I can't help it. Adam can lay pipe. I can't help it, but whatever. I digress. I hope Zig can get some members, because I like the idea of having a Christian alliance, and I'm happy to see Zig try it, but I hope he can get some traction and get some people, because that's cool. You can see Parsons' hands poking up Thalmor's mouth on occasion. That's a horrifying image. A hand coming out of my mouth? That's like a video game thing. What alliance do you think will succeed most over the next year? I think Hand of Fate has good potential. Gosh, that's kind of about it. I'm trying to think what's an alliance that has a lot of potential to really like get better and shake things up, and I have no conclusions. I'm a bit concerned that the Syndicate has reached their peak for a while. Cause like they had Theodosius, they had Shiho, they had Partisan. Like, any one of these people is a game changer for an alliance, and they're all like quit or resigned. And I'm concerned about how the Syndicate will fare if they have a little bit more brain drain. I can't see Rose. I mean, Rose is good enough as is. I don't think Rose is a bad alliance, but I don't see Rose really, unless I don't even know who their new leader is. But like, I don't see Rose being able to really become a new, even better alliance. I don't see any major alliances right now breaking out of a cocoon to become even better. FARC is getting better. Okay. My parameters for reaching the peak was like having lots of big power players and an active government, which the Syndicate did have, but I don't think it has anymore. I have no opinion on that merge. Is Shio still in Gov? I thought Shio retired. Yeah, that's why I'm hopeful for a Hand of Fate, because like I think we're the poppin' alliance of the current time. But we'll see if that remains or not. Did you guys see my eulogy for KT that I put on the alliance description? I wrote that the day after the merge, or most of it, and I really liked it. I was able to finally put it to rest. That is a nice emoji. I might add it to the server actually. Immortals is a decent alliance. Eclipse is still growing, yeah. So I don't know. And politics, again, you have to remember, okay, I don't know anything. I don't talk to anyone. I don't scheme. I'm not in any interesting group chats. Like I don't know anything about what's going on with anyone. But from this limited position, I don't see any alliances doing anything really like interesting and cool and dynamic. And I don't see any alliances really like shooting up and becoming new stars. So, and yeah. And that's not like that's not a oh, the game's dying. Oh no, the game's dying. It's over. Like no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying I don't see the boat getting rocked anytime soon. So we'll see what happens. The games that's peak has continued to grow. I'm optimistic for the future of politics and war. Like we keep getting new players, and I don't see the reason why Alex would drop the game. Like it makes him money. He seems to have passion for it. So it's like, when is he ever going to like shut the servers off or sell it? Even if he sells it, like the next person will be buying an asset that presumably they would want to keep active. So I think politics and war is going to be around for a long time. At least several more years, but I would say even longer than that. Like I could be in my 40s and still playing it, 2 decades from now. But we'll see. The Cyber Nations Treaty Web. Let me look at it. MPO cloth. I don't know who. Yeah. Gay as shit. I'm so happy MPO is gone. Oh man. And people have been saying Cian is dead forever, but people still play it, so I don't know. Still getting a master's. I don't know what Alex is trying to do professionally, because like he has a marketing agency that he owns and operates. He has this game, and he's still going to college. It's like, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe he really wants to shoot for the stars, which is fine, I guess. I am very complacent and content. So maybe I shouldn't even be speaking on that. I think it's different politics and war. we can talk about some real life stuff. So, the Biden administration is going to require, or is trying to get it so that banks are required to either do one of two things. I have contradictory information. Either number one, all transactions over $600 gets reported to the IRS, or number two, any account with over $600, each transaction from that account gets reported to the IRS. I don't know which one, but both are really cringe. So that is pretty cool. It used to be that if you made a transaction, or this is still the case, if you made a transaction over 10 grand, it gets reported. But now this is being like expanded even more. So I don't know if it's reality. I've just seen people talking about it. I'm guessing the Biden administration wants to make this the case. I don't think it's the case now. You know what the cool thing would be? The cool thing would be if this does happen, then the IRS just tells you how much you owe, and like it makes process of paying taxes so much easier. Whereas now it's like you gotta figure it out yourself and hope that you're right. So we'll see what happens, I guess. It's neither any account over 600 the bank total deposit withdrawals for the year. Okay, that sounds not. I think that sounds not nearly as awful. Okay, and it's a proposal. Okay, so that's good. Because if it's a proposal, that means it's probably not in the pipeline of actually being done. So that's good. Okay, that sounds less bad. Thank you, big board. I want to give a thank you to Borg and CCT for being the counterbalance to my insanity. I appreciate that. I believe that's true, Avatar Patrick. I think it's these like tax payout companies. I think they want people to keep paying for the service. So that's why the tax code is kept pretty retarded. Trying to think. So hopefully that won't become even more screwy. So I have a favorite comedian, and his name is Tim Dillon. And he does a podcast, and he's really funny. I really like him. And he's actually coming to Louisville on November 20th. And that made me so excited because I was going to go see him. And it's going to be a blast. It's going to have a lot of fun. So I went to his website. I clicked the link. I went to the venue. I was wanting some tickets. And guess what? There's a notice from the venue that says if you want to show up to a show, you got to either present proof of vaccination or negative COVID test that was done in the past 72 hours. And I've decided I'm probably not going to go see Tim Dillon now because I'm going to be stupid and act on principle, and I don't want to have to show my papers to someone. So I'm not going to do it. So I'm not going to go see it. It upsets me, but I think that's nonsense. And like, it's not even like a state ordinance. Like Kentucky, I don't think has a thing like that. Maybe Louisville has some kind of ordinance. Actually, no, I don't. Actually, no, they don't, because the FAQ for it said that it was they're doing. So, Thalmor, please pull you over and ask you to see your driver's license, which you refuse. Well, I can't do that, David. I am legally obligated to have to show him my license. That's a bit different.
I mean, like,
So,
how strict are they about it, and how many people there are like patriots? Because like, you go to West LA, and it's like, oh my God, you're not.
Shifty, buddy, you were quiet and cutting out. I have no idea what you were talking about.
What was that? I said that it's kind of weird in California because the mask thing. You have people in West LA going like, "Oh my god, you're not wearing your fucking mask. You're gonna like, kill everybody. That's not how that works. Oh my god." And that's like West LA, like the rich bougie part. That's also really expensive and shitty. And then regular LA is kind of like, all right, if you're outside, you're good. If you're inside, wear a mask. And then if you go to like the rural parts, they're like, we don't care. We're patriots, and like, fuck the rest of the state. Like, you can just fucking hang out without a mask. Like, when I go to San Bernardino, like, I never have to wear a mask. And they're like, if you're vaccinated, it's whatever, but we don't ask for the shit. Like, it's on you. Like, if you want to die, you can die. Like, if you believe that thing, if you don't believe in it, then don't get it. And if you have it, then your whole reason behind getting it was so you wouldn't have to wear the mask. So, like, fuck that. So, like, I'm just wondering, like, because I know there's a lot of places out there where they claim they're supposed to force you to wear a mask, but a lot of people just turn a blind eye because they're like, yeah, fuck that. We don't want to live that way anymore. And, like, I've been to other parts of the country where they're like that, too. So, I don't know. Do you think there would be people that would let you sneak in or be cool with it? Or do you think they're going to be, like, really, like, on your ass about it?
I think it'd be on my ass about it. So, and like, I mean, maybe if I knew someone at the venue who worked there, I could work something out. Oh, and also they require masks if you're sitting there, and that sounds like it'd be uncomfortable. So, well, I could get one of those I could get one of those masks that look like a normal mask, but actually doesn't like do anything. But I don't know. It's just a mess. But it is what it is, I guess. And big look, Borg, I understand you got your 13-inch elephant trunk, but all the other men, including myself, get jealous when you're swinging around. Okay, you have to wear pants, please. I beg you. But that's how that is. I can't see Tim Dillon, but that's okay. I mean, I'm sure he'll come back to Louisville at some point, or like worst come to worst, I could just like fly into a city where he's going to be at. So it's not the worst thing ever.
I mean, you could just go to Florida.
Oh fuck, you're right. I need to check it. Shifty. I need to check because yeah, if any place would like not care, it would probably be someplace in Florida.
Yeah, like if I want to do shit, like I said, I gotta go to San Bernardino or I gotta go like Arizona or Nevada. But like, yeah, like you just avoid, like you just go to like a more, like, hey, it's okay kind of state. So yeah, Florida would be the one way to go. Base DeSantis.
Yeah, so I just need to check and see what other cities nearby he might be like speaking at, and check their venues and see if they have any of those nonsense requirements. So that is where that is. This might be a little bit of old news, but still, because I still want to cover because it's annoying. Okay, let's go back to like August, right? Afghanistan airport, U.S. troops there, suicide bomb kills like 12, 13 soldiers, right? And then in retaliation, they drone strike an ISIS-K dude. You guys remember this? Well, it's finally been revealed that everyone killed in a drone strike, was just a civilian. And I'm not even making this up. I think like most of them were like young children. Just something completely fucked up and deranged. So that's pretty cool, I guess. But like it's the perfect capstone for the whole fucking nonsense, right? This stupid shitty war that accomplishes nothing, and the final act of the war is we kill a bunch of children. Just incredible, you know? Gosh, crazy. And it's like nothing's going to happen. Like someone needs to lose their, someone needs to go to prison over that, right? At a minimum. But nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. So that's how it is. And those fucking drone strikes are so they're effective, I guess, but like through the death of civilians, you radicalize way more people. For every terrorist you kill, you create like 10 more. So whatever. That's part of the core, killing civilians. You think about they're killing our own mercenaries. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, ICE not kind of work for us. Yeah, like, and like that. Yeah, I remember a news article a couple years ago, and it was like the CIA funded and trained Islamic militia is fighting the U.S. military supplied and trained Islamic militia, and it's like, what the fuck? How do we come to this? Well, I don't know. American foreign policy is Shifty. How would you describe American foreign policy?
I was gonna say it's not just with the Taliban or Al Qaeda or Muslim groups. I mean, like the CIA loves to do this shit with any little group that's fighting foreign governments, like cartels. I mean, shit, they did that shit in Colombia. They're doing that shit in Mexico, with the cartels. They'll do that shit in Asia and supply what do you call it? Militias that are trying to overthrow the local government. Shit, they'll even do it in Slavic countries. If you guys remember some of the weird shit where some of the Ukrainian nationalists versus the Crimeans versus the Russians and all that shit. Some of them were seen like, hey, these guys are supposed to be like poor farm boys from Ukraine. Yet why do they have brand new Tar assault rifles straight out of Israel? And why are some of them sporting some rare ass like calibers and ammos from the US that like are really fucking expensive? Like we're not talking about like, oh, it's $249 a bullet. We're talking about like fucking like $18 a bullet, and it's like, how the fuck did they get these? And it wasn't like, oh, Bitcoin transactions and shit. It was like they're getting these by the crate load, and like, I don't know. It's a CIA thing, if I remember correctly. It was the whole concept of having everybody else unstable, so they have to deal with shit, and they can't really plot against you. But yeah, there's a few foreign policy documents. I don't remember who exactly it was that did it, but it was somewhere around the Vietnam era that kind of started coming in, like the whole concept of destabilizing another country. So they can't really do anything, and it's kind of hard to take over, but it's also hard for it to basically do anything. But it's all that stuff. If you want to look up into more of it, especially in Latin America, look up the School of the Americas and just look up the Noriega Sandinista stuff. But it's all over the place.
Yeah, and fucking they've been wanting to do regime change across all sorts of Middle Eastern countries for decades now. Like fucking there was no reason to invade Iraq after 9/11. There was no reason to invade Iraq. But whatever. Gosh, I think that's it. Is there any other news stories I need to go over? Chris Chan wrote a letter in prison in which he compares himself to Jesus Christ and compares the owner and operator of Kiwi Farms, Joshua Moon, as Judas. So that's pretty funny. Remember, folks, no matter how bad your life is, at least you're not literally a motherfucker.
Oh my god, as
So
soon as you
that's
said the thing, it's just literally this meme.
yeah. Oh goodness gracious.
Oh
Oh man. All right. So, a final call for real life. Any last topics I need to go over? For politics and war too, while I'm at it. Any last topics I need to touch on before I close out the show for tonight? Because uh-oh. Is that it? Are we done here? No, there's gotta be one more thing. There's gotta be one tiny little thing.
Oh, I guess for
that
you,
I
what do you
need.
feel about the Many Saints of Newark?
Haven't seen it yet. I need to immediately.
I'm- I'm-
The reviews seem kind of mixed. So we'll see how it is. Have you seen it?
No, not yet. But I was like, you know what? I gotta wait for you to say something on it, and I'd expect that you'd be like, bro. As soon as that thing went live, I crashed the server.
No, I had to shop with my mom today, and then I had a birthday party to go to. I couldn't make it today. Maybe I'll just go see it tomorrow.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. I really like how they got Michael to play as Tony, young Tony. I think that is so cool. Apparently, Michael did great in the role. I can believe it. I think the trailer. I only watched one of the trailers, but it seemed like he did well. So, have any of you guys seen James? Have you seen Many Saints of Newark yet?
He's like, seen it. I lived it. Bada boom, bada bing.
All right. So, I did not slap my thighs too much tonight. I usually do it a lot, but I did not tonight. Watch out for glowies, watch out for skinwalkers, and have a good weekend. And I think we're done here. Kills, play the theme. Soup in the recording when the theme is done. Let us get out of here.